Hello and welcome to HealthierLife.tv. My name is Paul Bursey and my co-presenter is
Warren Connolly. Good morning, everybody.
Yes. So, how can I check my body's balance? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. First of all, what I just want to say is that HealthierLife.tv and the bit I was about to read has just gone off the screen. Oh dear. That's it. It's all gone peak tongue. Right. HealthierLife.tv wants to genuinely change people's health, wellness, and their quality of life through one-to-one guidance, education, and information. So, with that, how are you today, Warren? You been out training?
Indeed, I have, sir. Yeah, I was out this morning, had a workout, had a client session this morning as well, coaching session. So it was good. It's been good. Been busy and active today.
Okay,
very
fantastic.
active.
Good man. Good man. Warren and myself are committed to our clients, and we work with people who suffer from pain. And that's pain within their body, not pain in other things. And our goal is to work with people that have pain. And we're talking, we could be talking about anything. Now, let me give you an example. In June of 2019, I started a health regime and I had 7 different seats of pain, including knee, ankle, foot, back, neck. That's the easiest way I can say that. But there were 7 seats of pain. Within a year, I was pain-free. And that's basically really quickly what I want to talk about. Now, does this relate to you? Have you got some kind of pain that you just can't shake off? Okay. So let me ask you 3 questions here, if it relates to you. What are you doing for your condition at this moment? Or what have you done in the past? Is it working for you? And how long has this been going on? Okay. Now, I want you to think about that. Let me just say that again. What are you doing for your condition right now? What have you done in the past? Is it working for you? And how long has this been going on? Okay. Now, if you want to know more, then you're going to have to get in touch with us so that we can discuss it with you. If you want our help, that is. And the email to get us on is HealthierLifeTV@mail.com. So it's MAIL. So HealthierLifeTV@mail.com. So if you need help with that, then we are here. So today's subject, how can I check my body's balance? So we're not talking about gymnastics here. We're not talking about yoga. We're not talking about Pilates, as Warren just said before we started. What we're talking about is cellular health. Okay. So, Warren, tell us in your own words what your feelings are about getting it right inside.
Oh, for about getting it right inside.
Yeah, getting some kind of balance.
Yeah. It never used to be very much. It never used to be a big thing for me until maybe about, I don't know, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago. So then it started becoming more of a internal thing for me, and the importance of getting it right inside started to become more and more. The realization of how important it is to actually, have your body in balance internally on a cellular level became more and more significant for me. And as those 5 years or so, however long it's been, have progressed, I've realized just how important it really is. Especially now that I'm bordering on 50 now.
You old person.
You old person. No, but as I start to get closer towards 50, I'm realizing the significance of it even more and more and more now, looking after my internal health as opposed to the external, what do you call that, cosmetic look, the cosmetic health as such. the physical health. But yeah.
So 75% of our clientele and potential customers are women. So we're not, obviously, as a little proviso, we are not suggesting for 1 minute that you don't do what you normally do. Okay. But it helps the outside even more if you get the inside right.
Of course.
And that's basically what we're talking about. So okay, so how would one improve their body's balance? Obviously, there's many ways, such as fluids and electrolytes and other bits and pieces that you can take. We know that. We don't want to go into this too deeply, but how can you give us some sort of ideas as to how someone would start to tip the balance in their favour?
No pun intended. I'm so tempted to be facetious, but no. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want to tip the balance in your favor, it's about the quality of the nutrients you're taking, and not just the nutrients. It's the quality of the nutrients that you're taking. For example, I was talking to somebody, having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they were talking about increasing their fish intake in order to increase the balance in their body. I said, that's fine if you want to. I thought in my head, it's fine if you want to eat approximately 1 kilogram of fish a day, then go ahead and do that. Because the quality of the nutrients in the fish and what you're looking for is not right, not as high as the body needs. And the same applies to vegetables and food. So it's getting the balance. You need to make sure you've got the right nutrients that are going into your system. And unfortunately, for the most part, food these days just doesn't cut it anymore.
No,
it just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, Victorian times, as we know, it was a totally different thing altogether. But because people that work the land not only were burning calories by working, but they were eating absolute quality material.
Mm-hmm.
So organic, it was all organic, wasn't it? Because they didn't know anything about pesticides and herbicides
and even today, for the in the old school of farming, people would move the crop lands from place to place to place. But nowadays, because of this limited space, the soil just gets reused all over again. Every cycle, it gets reused. Sometimes it gets used for different purposes, but it's very seldom that soil will stand empty for a period of time. So this is also the other thing, is that the soil is lacking, dramatically lacking in nutrients in itself. So it lends to the theory that if the soil is lacking nutrients, then it's obvious that the food is going to lack nutrients too.
Right. So I'm going to fire off 12 quick questions at you. Okay, and do your best. So, how about using grains in your diet? What would you say to them? Say to someone.
Yes, in moderation.
Good answer. Okay. What about switching to grass-fed animal products?
100%.
See, we could be finished in 10 minutes this way. This is great. Okay. What about, would you look to detoxify heavy metals and things like that?
Oh, yes.
How can people do it?
Good question. Look, there are some ways that you can. There's more than one way that you can do it, and you can take activated charcoal and take that, which is not particularly pleasant. You can take a combination of like oils and so forth. In order,
is it MCT or something?
Yeah. No. It's
I don't know. I really don't know about.
It's CoQ10. I think it is CoQ10.
Oh, CQ10 enzyme.
Yeah, it's a CoQ10 enzyme.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I have taken it before as part of with the vitamins. I have done it before, but
Okay.
I didn't know it was for heavy metals.
And then detoxifying your system through a clean, through a clean eating regime is just completely detoxing your system, eating live foods and only live foods for a period of time, and that will help to definitely eradicate.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So obviously we've got to think about, what about where people have got metal fillings in their mouth, because they're supposed to cause a problem.
I guess they do.
So perhaps they could think about having them be exchanged, or put something else in, an amalgam.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know much about dental work. I've got all my own teeth, so I don't know much about dental work. But yeah, it's, I guess if you got a metal filling, it's definitely going to have some kind of seepage impact in your system, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I because I suffer from hemochromatosis, which is the body's way of not getting rid of the iron. I have to have a what they call a venesection 3 or 4 times a year, where they take a half a litre of blood out so that they can leach the the iron from my body, because my body you're supposed to keep about 5% of what you eat. So I think mine keeps a lot more than that, although I'm right down the lower end. So again, and it will affect your lungs. It will affect your liver, especially. So detoxification is very important. Now, if you're doing a serious one for metal, I would say talk to your doctor, because it's quite important you get it right, and they can maybe point you in the right direction.
Actually, a friend of mine's wife just discovered recently that she has the same thing.
Yeah.
Same condition as you're talking about. Yeah. So her doctor suggested eventually, after about going to 4 or 5 different places, the doctor suggested that she just give blood on a regular basis.
Yeah. They said that you'd have to be. I think I was top of the ones that could give blood. Okay. So because normally I just throw it away. But I think it'd be great to give blood. I've always wanted to. I've never done it. I've always lost out. Either the thing was shut when I've gone along, or or then they told me I couldn't give blood when I had this. So shame. Anyway, let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about toxic vegetable oils. What can you tell me about them?
Oof.
As little as possible, of course.
Yeah, just stay away from vegetable oils. Seriously, I mean, the only thing that's related to vegetables and oil that you should consider is olive. Yeah.
Olive oil. What about hemp oil?
Hemp oil. Yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. Hemp oil you can use, but hemp oil it's not going to be used in large amounts, I don't think, because also the price of hemp oil, I would imagine, is quite expensive. I've never personally come across hemp oil before.
No, I must admit I haven't. It's just something I came across in the research.
And look, coconut oil again is. I think I've touched on this recently. Coconut oil is not as healthy as people think it is, perceive it to be. But it's much better to use coconut oil than it is to use, say, canola oil, safflower, sunflower, all these kind of things. Yeah. Rather just stay away from that period. Don't even go near that stuff.
And
but even so, I mean, with people using a lot of olive oil and things like that, and coconut oil, you're getting a lot of omega-6 in your body. It's just you're ramming your system.
This is what we're talking about with the body balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we're talking about the cells. Now, just cutting very quickly, why do we need to have balance in our cells?
You asking me a question, or are you just asking them rhetorically?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Okay. So that the body can actually absorb the nutrients that you're ingesting and also expel any toxins as a result of the biofuels or the bio garbage that's left over. Yeah. So as you're eating foods, if your body's not in balance, your body's not going to be absorbing the nutrients that you're eating. So you can be eating as clean as you want to, but if your body's not in balance, which is the key, then the cell membranes are going to be too rigid to absorb, and they're going to be too rigid to expel. So this is the key from the cellular level.
Yeah. So it needs. So what we're saying is, if it's too hard, it won't be taking the nutrients it requires.
It requires, yeah.
So
And considering that you have over more than 1 trillion cells in your body, and each individual cell has its own, it's not unique, but its own individual purpose, function. So each cell has its own function. So you're looking at over 1 trillion cells in your body alone. So if the vast majority of your cells are too rigid, just think about what's happening to those poor cells. Man, I shudder the thought.
Right. So quickly, let's move on. There's some suggestion that HIIT training, or what they call burst training, is good for your cellular health. What is HIIT training?
It's high intensity interval training. Look, I think there's a couple of fields of theory here when it comes to HIIT training. Now, I don't disclose HIIT training. I mean, not disclose. I don't dispel HIIT training at all. I practice HIIT training. Some of my clients, not all my clients, but some of my clients practice HIIT training with me. But it needs to be regulated and controlled and limited, not done all the time. Because then what's going to happen is, so if you're doing HIIT training, what you're doing is you're forcing your body to push itself to a point where your oxygen intake and your oxygen consumption is forced to be increased, and then you're resting at a very short period of time, a very short interval. So as your heart starts to recover and you start getting more oxygen back into your lungs, you start going again. So the body's forced to expel a lot. Okay. And because of this, your cells are your metabolism is fired up. Your body's excreting a lot of toxins through your sweat, which is what sweat does. Sweat is your body's ability to regulate its temperature, and as a byproduct of sweat, you're getting the expulsion of toxins in your system. And then but with HIIT training, it benefits this, but some people get it too wrong, where they try to do HIIT training all the time, especially as we get older. HIIT training is not really advisable. Yeah, in my opinion. I mean, you can do it maybe once a week, twice a week at the most.
Yeah.
But once you start to get past, I'd say 45 and above, you need to be very wary and just conscious of how often you're doing HIIT training, and listen to your body as well. I know that's a different subject altogether.
Oh yeah, I know. But it was just to give a bit of an introduction into something that may help you. I think the big thing is about variation and get paying attention to your body, as you said. I think that's how I find it, because I'm one of those ones that's getting older now.
And a lot of people, no, Paul, a lot of people that do HIIT training, then invariably do a lot of plyometric exercises as well. What I mean by plyometric is, you're doing like explosive movements, sprint movements, push movements, pull movements. That's explosive. Everything's fired up. So if you're doing those type of movements too often through the week, your body's going to get tired very quickly. And as you get older, the wear and tear starts to compound. The compound effect of that wear and tear is pronounced. It becomes more evident.
And this is why they have elite trainers and people in sports science, because they know all this stuff. So the better you are as an athlete, the more elite you are, the more expensive it becomes, but then you get some fantastic coaching and guidance. But anyway, so that's just one thing. So the other thing was, the next thing I want to talk about is eating fermented foods, unpasteurized fermented foods.
Okay. Yeah, so fermented foods, definitely great for the digestion. It's good for the biomes in your gut. Your prebiotic, probiotic biomes in your gut. It's great for that. So it's to help your body to digest its food and for the inflammation in the gut to be reduced. Although initially, for a lot of people, when they eat fermented food, they don't experience a lot of reduction of inflammation. They experience a lot of increase in inflammation in the gut through flatulence and whatnot. But no, in all seriousness, it's a great additive to have to your. I never really took much insight into fermented foods until I moved to Hungary.
I didn't, and
until I moved to Hungary, and then I started to, because here fermented food is quite a popular thing. So yeah.
Well, fermented foods. Don't go too berserk on these, but the research I did, fermented foods. They were talking about coffee, chocolate, good quality chocolate, obviously, tea, beer, cheese. But the what? Do you know the one that came out? Everything I looked at, the one that came out top was sauerkraut.
Yeah.
I'd never had that. So
Really?
no. Well, if I did eat it, I didn't know I'd eaten it.
Probably when you're like 16 or something like that, on the can all the time. But no, sour. Yeah, I mean, the first time I got introduced to sauerkraut was when I was living in Germany in 1994. Yeah, it's the first time I tried sauerkraut. I didn't like it. Andrea makes it from time to time, and pickles as well in South Africa. Pickles, the gherkins, pickled gherkins. The cucumber, the small cucumbers. Those are very popular in South Africa, and the onions as well. The pickled onions, these kind of things. So when it's fermented, it's great. Pickled is not. I think pickled is a bit of a. It's a carcinogen. I think it is.
All right.
Yeah, pickled. When it's pickled, something. Okay. It's a carcinogen, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Don't quote me on that, but as far as my awareness is concerned, yeah, that's the.
But when we're talking about fermented, what we're talking about basically is bacteria, good bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for your guts, good for your brain, and everything else. What about upgrading your morning coffee? What type of coffee would you suggest?
To upgrade your morning coffee, well, it should if you can, a single roast. Okay. And if you can, also a very good quality coconut oil. Okay. And you mix that with MSG? MCT. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, MCT.
MSG. That's the bad stuff in Chinese food, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
MCT. Yeah, and that's called a bulletproof coffee. Now
yes,
that was developed.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, the idea from that came from Mongolia.
Ah, yeah. Oh, yes, you're right. Someone found it, didn't they, and then brought it back, didn't they?
Yeah. So they were using yak fat.
Yeah, but that's what bulletproof coffee was, wasn't it?
Yeah, yak fat, black coffee, and that's it basically. Because the yak fat has everything that the coconut oil and the MCT has. Yeah.
Okay. So what else have we got? You mentioned earlier about high quality supplements. It's like cars. You can go out and you can buy something very cheaply in a supermarket or a pound shop and things like that. You get what you pay for.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I'll say on that. So avoid discount shopping.
Oh, when it comes to nutrition, yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's the same as shoes, like you say, cars. It's just the one thing in Africa is that in Africa you'll always find people have nice shoes. If they can afford nice shoes, they will buy nice shoes before they buy a nice suit, because shoes are so important to carry your feet around in. And it's the same, like you say, like a car. You want a quality car, but you can always get from A to B in a cheap car, and that's fine. But with nutrition, you can't compromise.
Okay. What about paying attention to the water you drink?
You mean how much, or the type of
Well,
water
how
you drink?
much and what type?
Yeah, we use, like, for example, we use a water filter. Those bottled water filters. You got the filter in a bottle, and you
Yeah,
filter your water through there. Because I don't like drinking plastic water. There's so much toxins in plastic, and I mean, even ours is a plastic container. The water's not in there for very long. And I use glass bottles as well, or um, stainless steel bottles. So you want to be also mindful of, and of the water you're drinking, but I also have a very cool energy clearing exercise that I use for water as well, just to clean the water, energetically speaking, because water has memory. And so no matter where you're drinking water, you're going to be, that water has memory, and it could have come from anywhere on this planet. And when you start to put it in plastic, where the seepage comes in and all the toxins and everything like that, that's addition to it. So be careful with.
yeah. I just kept thinking, you see these adverts on television, don't you, about these poor children going along and walking 2 or 3 miles to go and fill up this dirty, horrible water. But we have to watch what we drink as well.
Mhm.
You've got to safely hydrate, because you don't know what's in the water. It could be chlorine, could be fluoride. I don't know. There's lots of things in there. Mercury.
Yeah, yeah,
So you've got just be aware and just watch what you're drinking. Now you've got to have the amount, so you've got to be careful about what type of water you drink. So very important, and that makes a big effect on your body balance. What about GMOs?
Look, we've been genetically modifying food since for like 10,000 years now.
Hmm.
You understand? Ever since we started agriculture and growing crops and maize, we were genetically modifying foods. The problem lies with today's technology, is that you know it's everywhere now. And when you're modifying a food, genetically speaking, and your body consumes whatever you're consuming, it's impacting your own genes. It's impacting your own genetic makeup, the health of your genes, the health of your DNA. So when you're eating foods that are predominantly genetically modified, your genes in itself, in essence, will become affected by that, negatively impacted.
Yeah.
So people don't think, they think, oh, GMO foods, it's not good for my health, but they don't realize that it's actually your genes that is being impacted by your
Oh,
food.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So just wanted to say that. So we should always aim for organic if we can.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not possible, look, just clean your foods properly. Yeah, if it's not organic. I'm at fault with this as well, because I get lazy. But
We
you
all
can
get lazy.
but clean your food properly. Just soak it in vinegar, for a little bit. Your vegetables, your salads, your fruits, if they're not organic, that just helps to kill any toxins and anything that are on the outside, on the skin of the food itself.
Yeah.
So do that for yourself.
Couple of words just on fasting, how that would help you.
But in terms of
Because we
getting your
did a
body in
program,
balance as well, yeah, fasting
we
is a
should do
big one
it.
there.
So
Fasting is a big one, and I totally, I'm a big adherer to fasting. I'm not fasting at the moment. I'm not doing any fasting practices right now, but I've done it before, more than one occasion, and it really works. And I've had clients of mine doing it as well. But you need to find what's good for you, what works for you. But in terms of clearing your cellular, from a cellular level, cleansing your system, it gives your body an opportunity to rest from digesting food all the time. So when just think about when you eat a meal and you get that energy slump afterwards,
yeah,
and it's big. Yes, it's to do with your sugars and stuff, but your body's taking a lot of energy, it's using a lot of resources for energy to digest all that food. And when you're eating continuously throughout the day, like I do invariably, your body gets tired, And when you fast, it just gives your body that break, you know. It really does. It's fantastic for your body to be able to regenerate and recuperate. And your heart in itself is like a car battery. It needs to be regenerated every once in a while. It needs to be given a break to just regroup, you know, and it's all linked to the heart in any case. So
yeah. And of course, you've got to be on a good program, because I think I'm right in saying is it your cells that they could take 120 days to change? They all change with that.
120, what?
I think it's about 120 days, isn't it?
Your skin cells.
It's the skin cells that change 120 days.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly
But if your body's got a good balance, then they'll do it efficiently. So okay. So last thing is mindset. Have we got to change our mindset to the whole gambit of diet and what we eat and how we grow, how we cook, what we drink, how much we drink?
As a collective, yes, definitely. In society, yes, most certainly. And as individuals, if you have the information and you know what is the right thing to do and what's not, what needs to be changed, then it's your responsibility, in my opinion, in my belief, it's your responsibility to do something about it. And you can just take small incremental steps in order to change that and create the new habits, create the new beliefs in yourself. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do it, and you can do it, you know, and it just follow through on that.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. Yeah.
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 All right. Well, we've done nearly 32 minutes. So we're just going to say, I'm going to say this and we're going to leave. If you've got any questions, please let us know, and then we'll come back to you. And you can put them anywhere on our HealthierLife.tv. Yes. Right. So just to finish up, I want you 3 questions for you to think about. We were going to do something else, but I think we've run out of time. So I want you to think about these questions very carefully. Is your health important to you? All right. And it's very important that you answer it for yourself. How healthy are you, really, inside, not outside? Okay. And would you upgrade your health if you could? You need to answer that. Okay. Now, we can help with that, but you need to approach us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to come gunning for people. We'll mention it on here. We are very healthy. That's all I'll say.
That's all we need to say.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of pudding. So anyway, listen, I hope you found it useful. We didn't go anything in detail. There was a reason for that, because of time. We probably will come back and cover some of the things we haven't covered before.
Yeah, we will
in detail.
In detail, okay? Yes.
So have a fantastic weekend and go get healthy.
Have a lovely weekend, everybody.
See you later. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.